This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Hello and welcome along to Chasing the Dollar, brought to you by Sportingbet. Ben Damon is my name, joined as always by Adam Pengilly. Adam, some big racing to have a look at, especially the $100,000 maturity final at the Meadows. Some great racing in Victoria.
Yeah, fantastic racing down at the Meadows on Saturday night, Ben. It's shaping up as a huge maturity final on Saturday night. Dinah Naylor and Media Band got us out of a bit of a trouble last week, and the Chasing the Dollar curse brought down Black Magic Opal, but hopefully we'll find a few winners to get the punters back on the right track this week.
Let's not call it a curse just yet. We'll have a look at Wentworth Park first. So we're going to go through the quaddie legs at Wenny to kick it all off, and it starts with race number 5 on the program. This is for the stayers over the 720. Where do you go here?
Yeah, Ben, it's hard to see the winner coming outside the top 2 of Diamond Lucy, and Nothing's Too Good to Me. I know Diamond Lucy has been beaten out of sight in her only 2 tries at Wentworth Park over the staying trip, but I think this is a much more suitable race for her to return to headquarters. From the outside alley, I see her carving across towards the lead, and she'll be hard to beat, so I'm really keen on Diamond Lucy in the first leg of the quaddie. Going to throw in Nothing's Too Good for second. Looks the danger on paper here. If you take a line through his proven stellar form, he's got to be a massive chance, so he goes in for second. DeBarbara is not out of the picture either. She's been taken through the distances really early in her career and is a knockout hope. And I've included Sizzling Osty for 4th, down in grade, is drawn to tack onto the speed from the inside 2 boxes, but I'm really keen on Diamond Lucy.
Let's look at race number 6 on the program, the second leg of the quaddie. It's a very nice little race too, this one. Media Band was good to you last week, got up and won. Where's Wob, though? Absolutely flew at Wentworth Park.
Yeah, Ben, Media Band got us out of a bit of a trouble last week, but Where's Wob's performance was absolutely scintillating, and I find it hard to go past him here again. I suppose the big question is which Where's Wob's going to turn up from boxer eyes. Sometimes we see him jump on the bunny and he's ridiculously hard to run down. Other times he walks out and never fires a shot. But going on last week's run in the 29.59 time, I think he can win this race. Quite crucially for him, I don't think there's a lot of speed drawn to his outside. I think he's a better greyhound boxed out wide on the track. He should be able to zoom down the centre of the course, and he's my top pick in this race. I think Power and Jules might be the smoky here at some odds. Her record is absolutely outstanding from inside boxes. She can punch up along the rail and go into that first turn and be prominent. I think she might be a knockout chance, so I'll be thinking about her on an each-way basis. Corborn Hitman finally stepped cleanly last week from an outside alley and won accordingly. We'll have to include him in our quaddie from a good draw. And Media Band got us out of a trouble, like I said last week, and has claims too, but pretty keen on Where's Wob in the second leg of the quaddie.
Let's get along to race number 7 on the program. It is the third leg of the quaddie. It is for the Sportingbet stayers. Some good ones going around in this race as well. Gradance, you've tipped him plenty of times. Didn't last week, but he looks in form.
Yeah, I must admit, Ben, I had a few reservations about him last week, but he was absolutely super, especially that last 50 metres, and probably gives you an indication of how good Proven Stella's going for the fact that he could only nab that greyhound in the last 20 metres when he won in very quick time. I kept going back to that run last week in the 42.11. I think he's probably going to win this race. He's going to do a lot of chasing, though, with Set to Shine and Starliner due to jump on the bunny. But I think he's got a motor like no greyhound in Australia at the moment. So I'm going to make Gradance my top pick. He's starting to put it all together. So he's the one to win this race, in my opinion. Set to Shine, I was flirting with making her my top pick. She's been in absolutely super form and will bounce on the bunny here again. I just think Gradance might be able to reel her in over the final 50 metres like he did to Proven Stella last week, but she's definitely a chance as well. Starliner's got to be the big query in this race, debuting over the 720 metres at Wentworth Park. Has some outstanding credentials in Brisbane and the Northern Rivers region. I'm just a little bit concerned he might be running into 1 or 2 greyhounds who are going better at the moment, and Agent Ace is one for your wider multiples.
And that takes us to probably the race of the night at Wentworth Park on Saturday night. It is the final leg of the quaddie. Race number 8, the Sportingbet free-for-all, and a very open one too. I don't know what they'll make the favourite here. Where do you find the winner?
Yeah, we're interested to see which way the market comes up, Ben. We're going to go with Dainty Banquet here. I think she's racing in career best form, and quite crucially, I think the draw probably suits her. She's a wide runner, drawn out in box 7. I think she can get the fly, and if she can come across Mine's a Red One, Tricky Terry, and Not So Sweet in the early going, if she lands on the bunny, I think she might be hard to run down. So I'm happy to make Dainty Banquet my top pick, and hopefully add a little bit of value as well. I've included Mine's a Red One for second. He was brilliant last start off a similar box he's going to get on Saturday night. He pounced on the bunny there, and I'm not going to say he can't do that again. So he's the big danger in my eyes. Tricky Terry got the job done in easier grade last week, and the draw suits with a moderate beginner outside of him, so he has claims. And I'm just going to throw in Not So Sweet for 4th, going for 4 straight wins. Also has claims, but this looks a bit of a tougher assignment on paper.
All right, well, before we have a look at the racing at the Meadows, let's get your best bet on the program at Wenny.
Race 5, number 8, Ben Diamond Lucy. I don't think it's the strongest staying race we'll see at Wentworth Park all year. I think she's drawn suitably to carve across and should be able to get the chocolates for us.
And some value for us.
Race 3, number 1, JB Rock. Doesn't win often, Ben, but I think he does his best work off inside boxes. His form stacks up well behind Media Band, Tricky Jade and the like, so hopefully JB Rock can get the job done for us.
OK, and take us through the quaddie.
First leg, going to go with Diamond Lucy and Nothing's Too Good. Going to play a little bit wider in the second leg with Where's Wob, Power and Jewels, Corborn Hitman and Media Band. In the third leg, we'll go with Graydonson Set to Shine, and in the fourth leg, we'll be playing Dainty Banquet, Mine's a Red One, and Tricky Terry.
OK, well, let's have a look at the big racing in Victoria at the Meadows this Saturday night. Some fantastic racing as well. We'll kick it off with our look at the Distance Championship final. $40,000 to the winner. Some fantastic stayers going around over the 725 here. Adam, who did you find on top?
Yeah, really good race, Ben. Much as I'd like to back something a little bit wider in the market like Belhaven or Destiny Fireball, I'm finding it really hard to go past Proven Impala after her very impressive heat win last week. I think the race is set up perfectly for her. She'll be able to jump on the bunny, string the field right out and have enough in the tank to hold on late. I know some of her rivals probably should have finished a little bit closer to her on the score of time last week, but the facts and figures suggest that she's going to win this race off box 2, so I'm happy to make Proven Impala my top pick and the favourite to get the job done. I love the way Belhaven finishes off her races. She should have finished a lot closer to Proven Impala in the heat last week, save for the interference on the home turn. She has had a pretty tough preparation racing in 4 states over the last 3 months, but I think she might be getting a little bit closer to Proven Impala this week, but the lead might be just a little bit too much to reel in, so she goes in for second. Destiny Fireball, the grand old stage, will be trucking along as usual. I'm just not sure whether he can head off Proven Impala going into the first turn, so he goes in for third. And I'm going to include Madison D for fourth, produce a shock of the semis with a pretty fast semi-final, with heat win, sorry. She can figure from the outside again, but hard to go past Proven Impala.
And that takes us to the feature race of the night around Australia on Saturday night. It is at the Meadows and it is the Maturity Classic Final. $100,000 goes to the winner. It is over the 525 there at the Meadows. Where are you going?
Going with Dyna Nayland, Ben. I mentioned on last week's program I thought he was a good chance to win the overall series. His run last week was absolutely staggering. After the way he jumped, he really had no place qualifying for the final, let alone winning his semi-final. Absolutely huge run. But probably the thing that impressed me the most was the time. The 29.89 was only a length shy of Schroeder Bale's best of the night figures. If you have a look at his first sectional, it was amazing his run home time. Shows you what type of motor he's got. I think from the draw it's a little bit awkward, but I think if he can tack onto the back of Schroeder Bale and Marcus Joe going into the first turn, he might get a nice card into the race with clear running room. I reckon he's a huge chance of winning this race, and around the $4.40 quote, Dyna Nayland's going to be a good bet for me. Schroeder Bale goes in for second. He's just one of those professional Graham Bate trained pups. Does everything right, jumps cleanly, rails hard, lands on the bunny. He might be able to pinch a winning break here, but I just think Dyna Nayland, with clear running room, might be able to run him down in the final 50 metres. Hoover Jack's win last week was a classic case of boxers winning big races. Guess what? He's come up with the red again, so he's not going to discount his chances. And if you want to look at something a little bit wider in the market, I'm happy to back Marcus Joe on an each-way basis. I thought he was pretty good last week. With his early speed, he should be able to put himself right in the race, but my betting strategy will be back Dyna Nayland and Marcus Joe on an each-way basis.
OK, so Dyna Nayland on top. I hope you had something on last week, Adam. He was a better price than he is now.
Yeah, thank God I had something on last week, Ben. He's $4.40 on Saturday night, which I think is still very backable. And from the draw, if he can get a nice cut into the race, I think he's good value.
All right, well, good luck and good punting on Saturday night. Good luck to you as well. We'll see you next time on Chasing the Dollar.
This episode of Chasing the Dollar is proudly brought to you by Sportingbet. There's no better bet than a Sportingbet.